Hey, Fragrance family, I'm Daver.
And I'm Cy.
And we're the Fragrance Bros! Coming at you again with another review with guest host Cy from Frag Boy Stewie. How are you doing, Cy?
Great as always. How are you, Daver?
Doing great. Great to have you on always. And today we are reviewing Virgin Island Water by Creed. Alright, so let's get straight to it. Date introduced is 2007. It's classified as a citrus. Notes are bergamot, lime, mandarin, coconut, jasmine, hibiscus, ylang ylang, ginger, sugarcane, musk, and white rum. Now, Cy, what do you get of longevity out of this?
It's not one of the longest lasting Creeds on my skin. I get about 5 to 6 hours max. I think it pretty much fades out after 5.
I agree. I think maybe I get maximum 5. It does not last long on me at all.
Yeah.
What about projection?
It's rather soft.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty. It smells so darn good, but it's so close to my skin. I think it projects for, I don't know, maybe like a feet or something, and that's about it.
Yeah, I agree. I get the same projection as well. When I first sprayed it on, I thought it was pretty strong. My wife couldn't smell it at all. So I think you're right. I think it is like the projection is really only like a foot.
Yeah.
Season, I'd say this is great for summer and really only summer and daytime. In purpose, I would say this is really only good for casual. All right, so Cy, what does this remind you of?
Pina colada. It's a straight up. I think Creed did a really good job here, reciprocating a pina colada into a fragrance. It's oh my gosh, it's such a good scent. Like I remember the very first time I smelled it, I went, okay, wow, this is just wow. Like this smells so good. Of course, the performance wasn't all that great, but yeah, pina colada straight up. I get a lot of coconut. The bergamot is pretty strong up top, and it has the sparkly effect. And then obviously there's some of that booziness in the background. All of that, the concoction is just so good. It's really good.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, this is one of those scents that is so unique from other scents just in the world, and they really did a good job. Because, you know, I've smelled scents that try to smell tropical.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately they don't do a very good job. You know, one of the scents that really comes to mind is the Tommy Bahama scents. I think it's Set Sail St. Bart's.
Yeah.
And I really don't think that smells very good. Here they do a fantastic job. I think for this type of scent, it really only serves one point, and that is to go to the beach.
Of course.
So yeah, it is really a beach scent, and I think that is really the only thing that you can really wear this for, because you cannot be taken seriously in an office setting wearing this.
Yeah.
You know, you can't give a presentation and smell like a pina colada.
Hey, unless it's Friday.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe if you work in Hawaii or something.
Oh, sure.
But
or at a bar.
As far as a scent, it opens with a huge citrus note. That lime and that bergamot are super bright, and it smells great. Then the coconut comes up, and you really get the pina colada type of smell. I definitely get what you're talking about the sparkling aspect. I do get like that sugary type of quality. They mentioned the sugar cane in the notes.
Yeah.
And I do get a little bit of the rum. To me, like the rum is not super powerful. I can just kind of smell it just kind of mingling in there in the background, but it's not like I get like a really strong rum note or anything, but it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I've tried a couple of different batches of this, I guess, if you want to start the batch debate here. I've tried 2 different versions of this, and the performance on each was not fantastic. So some people talk about how they get a really coconutty batch of Virgin Island water, and some people don't. I think really it's that the volatility of the oils of the citrus is such that if you have this fragrance long enough, and if it's old enough, and if there's enough air in the bottle, or if you store it wrong, the citruses will just die off or mute. And in that case, you're going to get more of the second phase of the fragrance rather than the first bright citrus note. So I think that's really ultimately what's happening in a lot of these coconutty batches. I really like the citrus. I think it adds a lot of sizzle to the start of the fragrance. You know, this really reminds me a lot of fig leaves. I've talked a lot about fig leaves. It's just one of my favorite smells in nature. It's a fantastic scent. Fig leaves have a really great nutty, almost coconutty type of smell, especially when they're dried. This really reminds me of that because there's coconut in there. It's so funny how like just the the name Virgin Island water, which is very tropical, very island, really sets the tone for how this smells in your perception. Changes it from something that could be perceived as just another fig scent to being tropical. The name is powerful. It's a great name. They really did a great job here.
Yeah, I personally do not get the fig per se, or maybe, like you said, it's probably the name that changes the perception of the fragrance, right? As it often happens. So maybe if I hadn't known what I was smelling, maybe I would probably smell the fig. But I don't think I'll ever be able to smell the fig knowing that it's Virgin Island water.
You know what's funny about this story about the figs? Whenever Dan Mish, he visited my house, stayed with us for a few days, and we went somewhere and there was a fig bush there. I said, "Oh, look, it's a fig bush." And I told him about how the leaves smell, and he smelled it and he said, "It smells like Virgin Island water."
Oh, wow.
There's one scent, though, that it's not exactly right, but it is in the same ballpark and smells very good, and that's Kiehl's Fig Leaf and Sage. Very, very good fragrance. And when I smelled it at first, it reminded me a lot of Virgin Island water. That will get you in the ballpark of Virgin Island water without having to spend Virgin Island water prices. So my one complaint about Virgin Island water is that because it is kind of a very beachy type of smell, it goes on almost like the cliche or kitschy realm. Whenever I wear this, I think, tiki bar. And wearing a Hawaiian shirt and a lei and that kind of stuff, and just that really obnoxious, kitschy type of island experience. It's a very good scent, but it just reminds me of that sometimes, and that kind of gets on my nerves.
It's actually it's a pretty simple cocktail fragrance. I mean, I like it though.
I do too. I think it is a very good scent, and you're right. It is a simple fragrance. For as many notes are in here, I really only get 3, maybe 4. I would really recommend people buy like a decant of this more than like a bottle. Unless you just want to wear this all the time. You could buy like a small decant, last you through the summer or something like that, just for the couple of times that you use it. And that's enough, How often are you going to wear this scent?
I totally agree. So I have like a 75 ml bottle, and I almost have just like 5 ml left. And that's been the case for almost the last few months. Like, I wear that fragrance, but I just don't wear it, a lot of times, really, even though it's summertime right now. So I think I totally agree with you, David, on that fact that you really don't need a full bottle of this fragrance unless you're going to drowse yourself with this every single day.
Now, what about compliments? You get any compliments with this?
I do. I actually do get compliments with this, but people would have to be in my bubble to smell me, and that's the only time I have a higher probability of getting a compliment. I have worn this salsa dancing. I've worn this to the clubs. Sorry, I'm guilty. I've worn this to work as well.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, I've gotten compliments, but none of them were all that crazy because half the time it's super hard for people to smell me. This one girl said that I smelled very. Can't remember the exact word, but it kind of translated to something BT or Hawaiian or tropical, essentially. I do wish the projection was like better because. You could totally rock this to a club. Like, this is one of those fragrances that it feels like it has a holiday feel to it. I think that's what she said. The girl said, "You smell like a holiday." So at the clubs, I mean, this is one of those scents which is absolutely going to get you a lot of attention if it actually projects.
Yeah, my wife thinks this is okay. What's funny was she told me she likes the intensity of it, which that's an inside joke, saying she loves how it's not loud at all.
Oh, gotcha.
Jer, his wife, really likes this fragrance, and she wore this a lot. And I smelled it on her, and I thought it smelled really good. I haven't really gotten many compliments from this. Like I said, this is only like a very, very sparse, occasional type of scent for me. So I really don't get many notices from it anyway. All right, Sai, final rating, what do you give this?
I'm actually going to give this a 7 out of 10. It's a great fragrance, great scent. I wish it lasted longer, performed better, but unfortunately does neither of those. So only for the scent pretty much is where I rated at 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 which is an 8 out of 10.
That's good.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 for me. I think this is a very good scent. People are going to either love it for the scent or hate it for the performance. And they're really going to fall into one of those two camps. And so I totally understand both. I think the scent itself is really good, very pleasant scent, really dialed. Like Creed did a great job nailing this type of scent. 4 out of 5 for me for scent overall. So that's all we have. Let us know if you tried Virgin Island Water down in the comments down below. Do you like it, love it, hate it? Let us know. And of course, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. We'll love you for it. And of course, I'll have a link down below to Sai's channel where you can go and subscribe to him as well. Thank you, Sai, for coming on. Always a pleasure having you on.
Oh, thanks a lot, David. The pleasure's all mine.
And we'll see you next time with the Fragrance Brothers.
See you later.